All right, we're live. What's going on, everybody? John Glutch here, and super excited to make a really fun announcement today that my friend Curtis Chism is joining us at EXP Realty. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Dude, we're so excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
We're pumped to have you as part of the group, the Fast Forward movement over at EXP and part of our crew. It's going to be just an awesome ride. And what I want to do is, I love when amazing people like you join to jump on and share the story a little bit of like, how did you get here? You know, like you had a lot of success. So Curtis, his first year of real estate, sold 17 houses. And this is like, remember COVID? Yeah, we're still doing that whole thing, right? But like, dang, dude, like your first year, and I remember you and I talked, you remember you called like a year ago, we're like, hey, what, like in March, and like, what are you going to do? Like, I don't know, man, good luck. Get yourself go buy some toilet paper and hunker down, you know? And not only did you do that, but you went out and sold 17 houses your first year, which is fantastic. What's amazing about Curtis too is he was at EXP initially when he started as an agent, left the company, and now is coming back. And so I want him to share some of that story too, of like what's different and some lessons learned from that experience. And I think that'll be a lot of fun too. Curtis also a husband and father, married 11 years. Got a 3-year-old, a 15-month-old, and a baby on the way. So a lot going on and still tons of success. So way to go, man. Way to achieve and get a lot done in a year. So let's start off with your quick intro. Like tell me a little bit about yourself and kind of your professional story, how you ended up at EXP, how you ended up in real estate in general, and let everybody know kind of how you got here.
Yeah, absolutely. First, I'm a third generation San Diegan, so love San Diego and super well connected here, and love helping to be a part of building my community. So as far as my professional career, I have a master's in construction management with an emphasis in real estate development. So that's kind of what kind of queued me up to being interested in real estate a long time ago. Never got directly involved with it with the construction management route. But I've always had the entrepreneurial bug since I was a kid. And so eventually I left the construction management world, and my wife and I started a brewery here in San Diego called Council Brewing. Ran that. We had a team of 16 people, lots of awards distributed nationally and internationally and in select markets. But, ultimately business is tough, right? And so we had a lot of success, a lot of profitability for a long time, and then suddenly the bottom sort of fell out. So we wrapped that up at the end of 2018, early 2019, and unfortunately, ended in an orderly bankruptcy, as orderly as they can be, both business and then personal because of SBA loans we had. So it happened, and I used to be afraid of that and disappointed that happened. Now I'm realizing through my professional growth that failure like that, to get to that next level, you kind of have to go through that. Yeah, and it's a real trial to make that happen, to go through that. Fortunately, I had a great coach who advised me, hey, don't make a rash decision and just go back to what you were doing. Take at least a month off, and because you can't make a good decision when you're that stressed out. Yeah. And so that's what I did. I took a month off, and then I'm taking a few months off and started a transition into real estate. So that's how I got here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's a very similar experience for me. Lost my first company, had to lay everybody off. Very painful experience. Lost all my, got to zero net worth. Had to short sell every house I had. Foreclosures, the whole thing. It was a mess, man. It's no fun. Tell me real quick, how did you, I know for me, it was painful and hard to decide to get back into entrepreneurship. So how'd you get past that pain and that fear of like, dude, this did not go so good the first time. It took me years to get over that. So it seems like you turned that around pretty quick. How'd that go?
Yeah, I think I like I said, I just always had the bug, and I started, after I took that time off and decided not to simply go back to work for the company I worked for prior. And again, working with my coach to see that. I didn't see it right away. And so fortunately, with a construction background, I have my contractor's license. I was able to kind of work some odd jobs and pay the bills while I figured that out. Yeah. And I started realizing in a lot of ways I probably wouldn't be a good employee anymore because I have been on my own now.
You were spoiled, yeah.
I was spoiled, yeah. As hard as it is, I mean,
yeah.
For the brewery, 3 out of the 5 years we didn't pay ourselves, right?
Yeah,
that's reality. And 7 years in now to being an entrepreneur, and I'm still okay with that.
Yeah, totally.
It'll pay off. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to get over a challenge like that. I know from personal experience. So hopefully that encourages some people who are watching this to go, man, like, don't let fear dictate your future, and pain dictate your future.
You can't be constantly looking in the rearview mirror. And I tell myself almost every day, because I'm like, man, in hindsight, I wish I had done this, right? And it's like, well, but you wouldn't have had those experience if you hadn't made those decisions. And I told someone today, he's like, I've made all kinds of mistakes in this business, and he's like kicking himself. I'm like, dude, so have I, and I'm still making them, and you just got to learn from them and move on.
Yeah. So you switch over to real estate, you go out like just guns blazing, sell 17 houses your first year. I don't think I sold 17 houses until I had been in the business in a year, until I had been in the business for 15 years or something. So you were way ahead of me. Give a couple tips for people listening, maybe who are getting started. What are a few things that you did to really win coming out of the gate?
Sure. Yeah. I started kind of as COVID was hitting, not realizing that. And that actually forced me to pivot real early in my career. So, a lot of agents, which isn't a bad thing, but their primary focus is going to be friends and family, people that know them. I actually, in some ways, struggled with that just because people are like, okay, great, you just came from a failed business.
Yeah, and you're new.
This, right? So I had to prove myself. So I was trying to do that, trying to do door knocking, cold calling, open houses, and there's value in those, but that's what I was sort of being told to do. Yeah. And it wasn't really working. COVID hits, it forced me to pivot my strategy completely online. And so I fortunately, because of the pandemic, I actually got a small EIDL loan, economic injury disaster loan. Yeah. And that I plowed that into marketing. I didn't go spend it on living expense. I put that into marketing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I've got 6 months to spend a couple grand a month. Let's go and see what happens. And so that's what happened. It paid off. Unfortunately, I had 2 deals that hit, and one of them was a $3 million deal. The other one was
that was realtor.com, or what was that?
Yeah, both were realtor.com leads.
Yeah, so awesome. Yeah, that stuff. Everybody says, oh, realtor.com leads don't work, or Zillow leads don't work. It's like, well, they're hard, but it's not that they don't work. There's challenges, but you can work on it, right? So you went out and got a bunch of internet leads and started working those and had some success there.
Yeah, started working those, and pretty much the first half of the year, as far as deals closed, were all internet leads, people that didn't know me, which isn't a bad thing. It just, but I was able to build trust and confidence with them. And then as friends and family started seeing the success that I was having through posting online, social media, I started to be contacted by them. And now almost everything is referrals and friends and family right now. Still some internet leads coming in, of course, but not pivoted. Yeah.
So talk about that real quick. Do you have anything specific you did to parlay that success online and just getting some confidence into more business in your sphere? Were you talking about on social media? Were you setting up email campaigns or sending out mailers? How did you spread the word that I'm in the game and I'm good, I'm getting things done?
Yeah, I think the primary way was, one, of course, is calling people and talking to them. But a big way was just through social media and constantly posting when I have successes. And it's great, whenever you have a sale, you can get multiple post out of that, right? So it makes it look like you're doing even more than maybe you're doing. And then just posting when you're out and about doing real estate stuff. So that just helps be top of mind a lot. I started going pretty heavy into video, and I'm going heavier into it now, like much more so. And it's funny, last year I did an interview style video through a production studio here through my title company. And that really kicked things off because my friends and family saw that, and they saw I was being interviewed, and you come across as an expert. Yeah. And so that was like kind of the linchpin that created a lot of traction. Yeah. And so now I'm continuing that strategy. So.
Oh, I love it. That's great. Okay, some great tips there. So, all right, so let's get to the broker shift. You're moving over to EXP. So you originally at EXP, left, and then now you're coming back. So talk a little bit about what challenges were you facing? So you're having a lot of success your first year. So like, why change it up? You know, like what was the problem you were starting to see that you felt like, hey, this is worth looking at making a change? So what were you experiencing there? What were some of the challenges that caused you to start looking around and maybe making a move in terms of your brokerage?
Yeah. So, I had a good year, and the previous brokers I was with, they're great. I have nothing to say bad about them. I think they serve a lot of people really well, serve me well in terms of the structure that I could grow under.
Yeah.
But I just started to realize that I was becoming stuck, and I didn't really have the network to tap into to get to a higher level. I started to realize, like, okay, I'm doing like 1.5, 2 deals a month, and that's the pace. I need to be doing more than that.
Yeah.
And there wasn't, a clear path, at least within my brokerage, as far as providing some support for that.
Yeah.
And I started to realize, I think, kind of amplified through COVID. And I'm naturally introverted. I'm not extroverted. I like to be in the corner at a party.
Yeah.
And it's made me not do that. But I think being around COVID, or not being around COVID, because of COVID, it forced me, or it amplified the fact that I was not around people anymore.
Yeah.
And especially around people in my industry that are producing at a higher level than me. And I've started the last probably 3 months, I'm like, to get to a higher level, I need to be around those people. You're the sum of the 5 people you're around, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's what kind of caused me to start looking. And also, I'm a systems guy. So I'm like, I know there's some better systems, and you can be caught up in systems, but I know there's some better ways to do things.
Yeah.
And so that's why I started to look.
And so you're looking for associations, right? To be around people who are doing more than you, who've blazed a path before you, and maybe can help you out with that. And so you saw that at EXP, and tell me a little bit about, you were at EXP before, left, and now are coming back. What have been some specific? You've only been here a few weeks, but what have been some specific things about joining, in particular, with me as your sponsor, with the group you're a part of here, that have helped you to feel like, oh, this is different, and this really is helping solve that problem of helping me get around higher producers?
Sure. Yeah. I think my first experience with EXP, I just maybe wasn't aligned, with the right group. And I think COVID it was weird. It just sort of like everything sort of shut off.
Yeah.
Sort of like, oh,
tough timing. Yeah.
And but now, I connected with you, like we mentioned at the beginning, over a year ago. Saw your story, saw you give a speech, and I connected with your story. So I've sort of watched you in particular over the last year, and then we got reconnected through some mutual friends. And I could see that you're a systems guy as well, and your big offering is to help me implement those systems, help me take all these different ideas that are out there. And that's the overwhelming, my inbox is cluttered with people trying to sell me stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just like, let's take all those ideas and boil them down to, like, here's the one thing you should do this week.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a big draw. And then in particular, then also you're connected with yourself, you're a top producer, and you're connected with other top producers. And so there's, all the events that you're offering, the mastermind, networking events, the database strategies, and even just helping me convert leads better. Right? You gave me a tip last week. I used it over the weekend. Boom, I've got an offer in for someone right now.
Nice.
Yeah. So
dude, that's great. What was it? Go ahead and share it. What was it that worked?
So it was basically, instead of just saying, hey, when can we go see the house? It was, hey, we're going to go see the house, but hey, I'm also going to show you 2 or 3 other properties that are really similar to this, so you can have something to compare it to.
Yeah.
And then you can decide what you want to do. And then let's plan on having a conversation afterwards, and what it's like to work with me and how we can work together to help you buy your home.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the main thing. And then, but we had a good conversation on the phone, got out there, and actually it was the first time that I drove someone around in real estate.
Yeah, totally. Crazy.
They had walked over because they lived right next, like a block away. I'm like, okay, let's go to the next one. They're like, well, how do we get there? I guess to get my car, but I got to take my car seats out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, let's go.
That's great. Oh, I love it. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. I think that's such a great example. And I have found that there is no shortage of information on how to be a good real estate agent. Everywhere. And lots of it's free. Like millions of hours of great free content.
Yeah.
So really one of the greatest skills you can have right now is how do you sort through the atmosphere and find the things that really work and present it to people in a system where it's digestible, right? Everybody knows kind of what to do, but it's like, when do I do it? In what order? Like, how do I not overwhelm people? And so I've really created a system to okay, the people who are part of our group, let's get on a phone call, learn a little bit about your business, and I'm going to give you 2 or 3 things to go do, and then go do them, and then call me when you're done, and we'll do another meeting, and we'll come up with 3 more things, right? That is helpful, because I think otherwise you're just like a mosquito at a nudist farm. You're just like wandering around. There's too many targets, right? It's like, what am I going to do? So that's been great with you because you're an implementer. Like you actually go do this stuff. A lot of people get on a call and it's great ideas, and they don't do anything, right? But you actually go implement, and that next thing you know, boom, you got a deal in escrow. That's fantastic, man. Congratulations. Way to go. And tell me, I know one thing you liked about the model too. Of course, the reason I'm doing that, I'm not just a nice guy, I would help you, sure. But the fact that EXP rewards me when you sell a house, right? You pay your money to EXP like you would any broker. That money's going to go to somebody. In this case, it goes to EXP, and a portion of that goes to me, and a portion of that goes to the people who signed me up at EXP. Mm-hmm. So now I have a financial incentive to share ideas, to help you grow, to help you become a better business person. I'm not just leaning on, I got a family to take care of and a business to run. I can't just run a charity helping agents do stuff, right? So now we've got a business reason to be working together and talking. And I know you liked that idea too. Can you share a little bit about what it was that was exciting to you about that, beyond the fact that now I'm incentivized to help you?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that was certainly a draw for me. There's been a number of people that have come to me over the past, year or so, and they're seeing success, like, cool, I want to do that, so they want to talk to me immediately, and I will, I'm a nice guy. Yeah, but so we have a conversation, I kind of point them in the right direction, and that's kind of the end of it, right? Because I'm busy, I've got other things to do. And I think partially too, it's kind of like, I don't really have anything to plug you into, so it's kind of like, right. If you're new, cool, go join a team and get your get your license, join a team, good luck.
Yeah.
And so now there is a financial incentives to help people. So now it's, worth my time. And then now there is a network to plug them into.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's not a team model. Maybe that's not the best thing for that person, but maybe it is. But now there's options, which I didn't have before.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got a ready-made system, thanks to the people who recruited me, people like Dan Beer and Kyle Whistle and Kinder and Reese and all these people above us who've created really awesome resources, weekly meetings, and you and I are going to Texas in 2 weeks. And Tony Robbins is speaking. Like, Tony Robbins didn't speak at any of my last brokerage events. Right. That's pretty crazy. So you got something to invite people to, which is really cool. And you didn't have to throw the event. You didn't have to call up Tony and get him to speak at an event. It's happened for you. Right. So it's a really cool thing, and it's a great thing that you point out. Like, we have something to plug people into. So now I can help people, and it doesn't totally rely on me spending hours and hours of time with this person. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So, okay, well, let's wrap up with, how's it been so far? You've been here a couple of weeks, how's your experience been? Are you feeling excited, overwhelmed? How's it been?
Yeah, I'm still getting rolling since it's been a couple of weeks. Closed a few transactions that I brought over. So that, it's, as far as transferring files stuff, that was pretty smooth. Starting to get plugged in with you and the tips you're providing. So we're working through that still. So that's still pretty early on, but I feel really good about it for sure. I'm excited about the opportunities and, getting on these mastermind calls now, and getting little tips from there. So no, I'm really excited. I'm excited for the future. Excited to be a part of a international brokerage where there's a lot more opportunity,
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, we're better because of you. You know, we keep bringing on more and more incredible people. And, you know, you come to the masterminds we do in San Diego, and the things you contribute to the group and to the conversation, and on the mastermind calls that we do on Zoom, those are international every Monday. You know, the fact that we're bringing all this, you know, because a lot of people, maybe they're new in their career, they're not going to relate to my story, but they'll relate to yours because they understand like where you're at. And so you have something to contribute that I could not contribute. And it's exciting. It's really exciting to have you on board. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks for giving us a chance and coming over. We're super excited about it. And if anybody wants to, has any questions, wants to reach out to Curtis, you can just direct message him on Facebook there. Same with me. And we'd be happy to answer any questions you have about EXP or just help grow your business. So thanks for joining us today, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, cool. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in, and best of luck to you in your real estate careers. We're here to help. If there's anything we can do for you, let us know, and we'll see you later. Thanks.
All right.